Today is Tuesday, May 10th, 2016, and this is episode 23 of Down to the Wire. We're back after like 6 months of not doing anything.
Season 3, officially.
Season 3, I guess. So Sean and I decided to start the show up again, and there's going to be quite a few changes in terms of how we do the show. And like always, we're going to strive for consistency, hopefully actually commit to it this time. And also new to the show, we're going to start talking about basketball, which is great news for me because I love basketball, so it opens up the door to that. Obviously, we're going to be focusing on the Raptors. That's what we do. We live in Toronto, so it's mostly going to be the Raptors that we talk about.
Occasionally, maybe the Spurs, because he's a Spurs fan. So.
Spurs are my team, but yeah, today we've been watching obviously the series with Miami lately. Actually, all the playoff games we've been following pretty closely. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Game 3 and 4, mostly focusing on Game 4 today. So I don't know if you want to start with your initial impressions of the game yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah,
Yesterday's
right? Game. Not that great. I feel like Raptors, if they won that game, they would have been extremely lucky. And yeah, they didn't deserve it in my eyes. They were horrible to start the game, and well, they got the lead in the third quarter. Played a really good, strong fourth quarter at the beginning, and then just kind of flopped as soon as Lowry left the game because of foul trouble. So it was, in my opinion, just overall impression, it was a bad game, and they need to be better. Especially, it's been stressed throughout this whole playoffs. Lowry and DeRozan need to step up, and their shooting right now is terrible. So in order for the Raptors to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, those two need to step up, especially with Valanciunas out for the series.
Yeah, I think inconsistency has been the problem all throughout the playoffs, not just in the last few games, not just this series. Specifically with the Rosen and Lowry not shooting well. But the whole team has been pretty inconsistent. It's been an interesting series because you have Bosch out of the playoffs completely for Miami. Now you have Whiteside, who went down in Game 3.
Yep, and he's not going to travel to Toronto for game.
He's not
game
here.
5,
He's
so.
not here for tomorrow's game. It does kind of even out with Valanciunas being out as well for the Raptors. So, all those injuries kind of lead the way for the rest of the guys on the team on both sides. Who's going to take that responsibility? DeRozan and Lowry aren't really cutting it. With the exception of Lowry's Game 3, DeRozan or Lowry haven't really had a game up to their standards at all in the playoffs yet, and it's been something that's been happening for years. But I think people like to put the blame on those two because they're the ones that usually get the work done for us. But I think if this Raptor team is going to win, we can't just rely on those two to do all the work. You have to figure out a way to win, and if they're not, knocking down their shots, you have to look somewhere else.
Yeah, and they've certainly done it before. They've dealt with injury trouble before throughout this whole season. Carroll was missing for most of the season, and Valanciunas has gone down as well. Biyombo, in the absence of Valanciunas for 22 games, I believe, he stepped up and did well. And yesterday, Biyombo actually did do well. A lot of people didn't think he would as the 5, but he did step up. He was great defensively. He hit his shots when he had to offensively, and that brings the question of why Dwayne Casey didn't play Biyombo towards the end of the game. He chose to go small and match Miami, and that obviously, at the end of the day, killed Toronto because they couldn't generate anything offensively, and defensively, Miami was just driving to the paint and laying it up because no one was there to block them.
Well, that's really what it's come down to, who can abuse the paint more. You don't really have any prominent bigs on either side. Biyombo's really the only big guy on the floor, and you're 100% right. Dwayne Casey's decisions, you live and you die by them. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. I think leaving Biyombo out of almost the entire overtime period was a huge mistake. The entire overtime period, they had 1 rebound. They were getting killed on the boards. Miami got 4, so 3 more. But, over a 5-minute period, that really hurts them with second chance buckets and all that. And, when your biggest guy on the floor is Patterson, how are you going to expect to get those rebounds that are so crucial near the end of the game, right?
Yeah, and I feel like you brought up that point. The game inside the paint is going to be huge throughout the rest of the series, and the Raptors at the beginning of the game and even towards the end, they were not driving towards the paint. They were not taking it to the paint. They were hesitant. They were taking 3-point shots that were not working. They need to think of something else. Drive towards the paint more. Try to expose Miami's small lineup as well, because if they can do that, they will be successful.
I think that's where the key is. The paint. They got to be more aggressive. That's why I think DeRozan and Lowry have been so inconsistent this postseason. They panic. They feel the pressure of the playoffs, obviously, but they spend too much time looking for the perfect shot, and then when there's no time left on the clock, they just throw up something that's resulting in really low percentage
Yep. Another thing I
field goal.
noticed, not sorry to cut you off, but another thing I noticed in that game, game four, they were waiting towards for the shot clock to wind down to the last 10 in order to generate anything. They were holding the ball, being stationary until the last 10 seconds, and at that time it's panic, right? Get to it as fast as you can, or it's a shot clock violation. So I feel like that's another key point where the Raptors need to be quicker. They need to be more decisive with their shot selection and pass it around more because bringing it back to Indiana series, they were more successful when they were passing the ball around really quickly. Obviously, with Valanciunas out, it's kind of harder to do that now, but the Raptors have the talent and they have the players to make the shots. They just need to be more decisive. Lowry and DeRozan need to step up.
So if you have to narrow it down to one thing that the Raptors have to do better, what would you say that is?
Just be more decisive. Like I said, I feel like they are just waiting around, being stationary, and rushing their chances when they do have them. When they have open shots, just take them. Be more decisive. Play more relaxed. I feel like their pressure is getting to them, like you said, and I feel like if they just play their game and be smart about it, they'll do well in the series, especially with the two bigs on either side of the game right now.
Yeah, I think it's about finding that balance. It's not rushing the shot, not waiting too long either. Just being patient until you find that right moment. This is a team that has a great bench. They made some really great moves last year in the offseason, adding Scola, who hasn't played at all this series.
He struggled.
Corey Joseph. Scola is probably not the best guy to put on the floor because he is not mobile enough, like under the paint.
Yep.
However, with Whiteside gone, I don't see why Dwayne Casey wouldn't want to try him out maybe tomorrow night because that's where Scola thrives. He's not very good shooting the three, but under like in the post, he can really post up and get those high percentage shots. So that's an option, and using the young guys. Nogueira was used yesterday. He did a pretty decent job. So making sure that you're taking advantage of the fact that Whiteside is not there.
Yep, I agree with you, and hopefully the Raptors can win the best of three now. I think the key right now is 95 points. If you get over 95 points, Miami really hasn't generated anything more than that throughout the whole postseason. So get over the 95 point, and you probably have a very good chance of winning the game. Tomorrow is game 5, and we'll see if the Raptors can win at home and then hopefully win on the road in Miami. If not, we're running game 7.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing weekly challenges. So along with whatever it is that we decide to talk about, we're gonna do some sort of competition. We're gonna be keeping track. So
Sean versus Andres. That's always fun.
for 3 weeks, the challenges are gonna be worth 1 point, and then once a month there's gonna be one video where all we do is a competition or challenge, and that's gonna be worth 3.
Today, we are going to start our free throw challenge. So, I guess best of 10 free throws. Just keep it short.
So now we're gonna magically teleport to a basketball court somewhere.
See you there.
Okay, we have now magically teleported, and we are at Lisgar Park, where our free throw challenge will take place. We have been warming up, and we can confirm that we are terrible. Here's free throw number 1. And it's not good. Sean with the shot. It's good.
Haha.
4. All right, shot number 10. This is pathetic.
Get one.
Alright, final score. Sean 4. Me 0. Don't ever pick me to be on your pickup basketball team. We're back.
Yep.
That
So
was really tiring.
we will be back next week with a new video. That's it for today. And see you guys next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We do have a website as well.
And a new
that you guys
YouTube
can
channel.
follow. And a new YouTube channel.
We may
so-
have forgotten our login details for the old one.
Well,
Because it's been a while.
yeah. So, yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back next week. See ya.